Very lucky that we did not sink that boat. Did a whole bunch of work on it and we splashed it, and then the dripless coupling was leaking because the housing was broken, and we had to haul it back out, do all the running gear over again. Please start that we can get this thing back to its slip. Client called desperate this weekend on Sunday. He had some flooding going on and circuit breakers were tripping, bilge pumps weren't working. So we sent one of the guys over with a crash pump. We got him pumped out. We fixed the wiring for the bilge pumps and then had to identify where the leak was coming from. AJ found that one of the through hulls corroded away so much that water was coming through the base of it at a pretty good rate. Making arrangements right now to get the boat moved over to the yard, and we were going to do it in March and then do work, but I guess we're going to do it now because, well, it's sinking.
I got one of your long-term clients, couldn't get the motor started today and had to resort to Cito. He's ready for some love.
I can fix a boat, but I cannot figure out how to get a mic on there.
So it's a Sea Ray 450. It's a very old boat. They pulled it out of the water because it was taking on water through one of the through holes. So we got it over to the yard, which it did not come over on its own power, unfortunately. So I got it here. The yard started complaining that there was kind of a bad smell. So when I came over to check it out, there was black water coming out of the bottom of it. So I went on board, tried to secure all the valves that I could because the overboard discharge was kind of stuck open. Once we were able to get that secure, there was still a pretty bad smell in the engine room, and that is because all of the pump out hose and the discharge hose had all rusted through. All of his black water was leaking into the ocean and into his engine room. So I spent the last couple minutes pulling crap out so I could actually find where all the leaks were coming and spraying and bleaching and scrubbing the engine room so it's sanitary to work in there.
We are going to be checking the running gear to see how it looks. This boat does not get ran very often, and we're currently doing a bunch of other work on it. We're waiting for engine shop to get here. I know I'm a Volvo guy, and that's kind of what I stick with nowadays. So we're going to be inspecting this running gear, and I know it's still a mess. We should have had it blasted before. Yeah, I'll get Antonio to pressure wash it.
Looks like you're going to be installing some underwater lights here. You got them kind of mapped out?
Yeah, that's what these 4 blue X's are for. He wants underwater lights, so that's what we're going to give him. I think we might have to do some work on this platform we built. It's got some worn out hardware and stuff. It's all corroded, so might have to replace some of that. We'll see. Let's hop down here and take a look at this running gear. Oh, jeez. There we go. Wow. Now the cutlass bearings are dry. I do believe he needs new cutlass bearings. Yeah, I just noticed something here. I don't like this at all. We just installed this. We're replacing the through hulls on the boat, and it's hard to see, but there's some voids in here where the 5200 has pockets in it and it's open. The right thing is to take that back out and redo it. And it's just, we didn't do it right the first time. We got to make sure it's done right the first time. We'll eat the cost for having to replace that because that's the right thing to do.
Good thing you're doing a quality check.
Yep.
Always got to check.
Disappointing, but it happens. All right, let's go over to the other side and check that. Here you can see the pile of crap that we've taken out so far. Strainers, main shutoff valves were no good, so everything's getting taken out and redone. They were all rotted away and stuff. The bonding system's all shot. The hoses are all shot. Cutlass bearings are so-so. I don't know that we'll do them now. We'll probably leave the cutlass bearings alone unless the engine shop needs the shafts out or disconnected, then we would do them. Yeah, see, this one looks good. That's what's left of the speed wheel, but that's not working anymore. I doubt it's even hooked up to anything anymore. We got two big ones in the back to replace. We're still waiting on parts for that. So these are the main engine pickups right here and right here. Had to take all those out because the shutoff valves were all stuck and rotted. It's been a job, going to continue to be a job.
See how it's like all green? So they're going to turn green over a while, but when everything is green that touches seawater and nothing is hooked up to the bonding system, some people call it the green death because what's happening is it's just eating itself alive because seawater is just sitting in there. Seawater, metal, chemical reaction, voltage, blah, 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 science. But that wasn't connected to, actually it had an eyelet that went to the bonding system, but the bonding system is so completely corroded out and deteriorated that the wires have just fallen apart. So bonding system wasn't hooked up to the zinc. Bonding system wasn't hooked up to all the metal pieces that are in contact with seawater. So we are going to go through and any metal. So every through hull, every hose, because even the hoses, even though they're rubber, they got metal inside of them, they rust out and fail. We're going to replace it also when it goes back in the boat and back into the water. Its bonding system is going to be working. It's going to be hooked up the way that it's supposed to, and we don't have to worry about any of these getting pinholes or cracks or anything in there because they've been unprotected in the water for the last few years.
It's in rough shape or not?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it does.
I just want to open it up and make sure.
We're gonna need to get that tool.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have to do it now. We'll just open it up, clean it up, and see what it looks like if it's starting to pit or anything.
You mean so we might be able to reuse it?
Maybe.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
I mean, it's a big piece.
Yeah, for
You know
sure.
what I mean?
Very
It is-
expensive.
Due to cost, this is now pretty much just going to turn into a liveaboard. The owner decided not to spend any money on the engines. He's just going to put it back in his slip and live on it. And we're going to make it as safe as we can and finish this up and hopefully get it back in the water mid next week. That's the plan. Let's go up and see how we're looking. Hey guys.
Welcome to the party.
Whoa, look at you guys. Got AJ back there in the corner, and here's Mel.
How you doing?
Trying to put stuff back together. Good times. At least everything will be hooked to the bonding system.
Yes. Finally.
Be the best part about this boat.
Yep, probably, but it needed it, you know. So, you guys doing good?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. He's good. He's good.
So I'm kind of thinking, you know, I know we talked about being done today. Don't rush it. Do it right. But let's try to tentatively plan on being done early next week.
Okay.
Tuesday.
Well, I can't finish today because I don't have for the
Threaded
chassis
rod.
things,
Yeah, that'll
That's
be
the only
easy to
thing I
do
think
though.
it's going to stop us.
But I got that threaded rod on order. And ooh, you know what? I'm gonna check with Steve at Key West Welding. He might have some. I
He
don't
has a
know.
whole 10-foot, 20-foot container full of stuff like that.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm wondering if he has threaded rod. I just thought of that.
About that.
All right, you guys good? You need anything?
I think we're good.
All right, call me if you need me. All right, more problems. Dripless coupling seals are leaking. Luckily, there's spare seals on the shaft. We're going to take this one out that's in here, slide it forward, and we'll pull this one out, and we'll put this one in. More problem. Always. Now the dripless couplings are leaking, so Chris is going to hop down there and pull them out and change them real quick. It'll take an hour to do. We need to do both sides or just that side?
That side, there was just two.
We'll leave it.
Yeah.
Let's just do this side. This is the coolant line for the dripless coupling on that boat, and the threads are gone. So now we have to figure out, can we save the threads that are in the engine, or do we have to tap that out and drill and tap it and cut new threads and then find a different size fitting to fit? So that's what Mel and AJ have been working on over here at the yard. How did we do on the dripless couplings? Or not dripless couplings, the bearings are in?
About an inch short.
Yeah, you can only get 8-inch, and that's probably 9 inches. So, all right, so they put new bearings in. You can see that. Both of them are in. That's good. All new set screws?
Yeah, I'll do something.
All new set screws, okay. And now we're working on the hoses, and then they're going to go over to the other boat and start working on those cutlass bearings. Press on with that, figuring out how we're going to fix that. So I saw this laying here, and AJ said, oh, these were on the shaft when they took the shafts out. So this is what happened to my other buddy's boat. The boat's been sitting for too long, and this is actually part of the bearing system for the dripless coupling, which goes up in that hole, and it has a seal that sits on the shaft. That seal prevents water from coming in the boat. Well, what happened was, due to growth or non-use, this seized onto the shaft. When he started the engines, this turned, it broke off, and he's very lucky that he did not tear the boot that goes onto the stern tube. The stern tube is in that hole in there. And that's what this whole dripless coupling hooks up to. Whatever this is all going to have to get cleaned off of here. That's rubber from the cutlass bearing.
Yep.
This is the
This is the end. This is the part that goes inside. This is the front right here.
yeah. This is where the prop is.
No, that's where this is where the prop is. Here.
Oh,
That's
okay.
where the couple is.
Then this is the inside of this. This
Yeah.
actually all melted. So that's what happened there. Man, got very lucky we didn't sink this boat. Well, not us, but him. So, okay, well, we're putting all new ones in. That's what the guys are kind of working on, prepping up for all that. You guys, I need you to make sure you inspect those stern tubes. Make sure they're not torn up. Make sure they're intact.
Inside.
Inside, yeah, inside, yeah. Because if they're cracked or anything, then we have to do glass work. We have to pull the stern tube out and put new ones in. Very lucky that we did not sink that boat. Well, not us, but the owner.
So today we are going to install new shaft seal. I kind of like them a lot more than... That's fine. I like them better than Tide's Marine one, just because according to manufacturer, they last about 10 years. Unless they are not taken care of, I've never seen any of them go bad. In this case, this was not taken care of, which is why it did kind of go bad. But this is your boot, goes onto the stern tube, shaft runs through there, salt water, your pickup, comes right up to here to cool it. A stainless steel ring has 2 O-rings in there that seals up to the shaft. And what you're going to do is once everything is in place, the shaft is all secure to the transmission and the coupling and everything, you're going to make a nice little mark. There is a manufacturer specific that you have to compress this. And what you're going to actually do is compress this up against the boot. For ours, it's a 2-inch shaft, so it's going to go down 1 inch. Once that's compressed on there, see, or once it's not compressed, you put it in place, do a marking, compress it exactly 1 inch. And then you just take your little set screws with Loctite, seal that to the shaft, and then it actually has another set screw that comes in and keeps it into place. And what happens is this nice little machine face here sits right up against the carbon here, and then as this spins with the shaft, it cuts a nice little wear pattern into the graphite, and it stays sealed. If they ever get crap in there, salt water, debris, whatever, which can happen, really all you have to do is put a little, not even a screwdriver, just put something in there to kind of open that up, and the water pressure will push all of the crap out and clean itself up. As far as maintenance, the only thing you really need to do, put like some spray and some grease on your clamps so they don't rust out and break, just like any other hose clamp. And then every so often you just have to rotate the shaft a little bit just to move this around and get any debris.
There was a question on one of the last about how long and how often you do maintenance on these. According to this particular one, each manufacturer is different, so always consult the manufacturer's recommended maintenance. These in particular, they say every 6 months to inspect them, and they have a life of approximately 5 years.
5 years. Sorry, I was off with the 10-year.
It's going to be dependent upon each individual manufacturer. So always check theirs. There is not a rule of thumb for all of these. So keep that in mind.
Mel, what you got going on down there?
Well, we're compressing the seal, compressing the carbon boot, as it says in the instructions.
So we pretty much, that little stainless steel ring right there, had to get pushed back about 1 inch to compress this boot for the correct tolerances the manual showed us.
This is a starting point.
Yeah, blue tape is.
And then it says 1 inch to compress this boot. This one is done. And on this side, this one is not done. So you can see the difference. If you look at the boot, this boot is expanded. It's hard to see, but you can see that the bellows are expanded there. And if you look at this boot, they are quite compressed. So that gives us the 1 inch for compression on the 2-inch shaft. Each shaft has a different compression. You just have to follow the instructions.
You know why they are compressed down like that, or?
Because your shaft comes through the boot. It goes through the carbon seal. This is completely loose. It is quite much bigger around inside than the shaft. So this piece can move up and down, left and right, where it has to go to be centered where the shaft comes through the boat. This piece spins on the shaft. This piece stays stationary. This one has to be pressed against the carbon face that's on this piece. This piece will spin. It will stay against the carbon. It is extremely fine machined, and it is extremely perfect on the surface area being perpendicular to each other and to this one. So it rubs continuously. The carbon on this wears down, but it keeps a seal between the two. When you first start it up, you have to break it in. You'll see some water spray out of here. You'll see some carbon dust come out of here until these two pieces wear together and make the way they want to be.
Sounds cool.
It's harder than it looks.
Always is.
So the boat is pretty old, 2002 maybe, so 20 plus years old, and it's only started maybe 4 times in the last 7 years, maybe-ish. So do you guys think this boat, 20 plus year old boat, will start after sitting for so long? I mean, it did just recently start, kind of, when they moved it over initially, but I still think one of the engines doesn't have any fuel in the tank, so the captain's gonna have to arrange to get fuel. So let's put it in the water and see what happens. All right, what we got going on down here?
Through holes are open. Strainer is full. Strainer is full. Strainer is full. Air conditioning strainer is not, because it has not been run. We have no water coming in from the Dripless. That's a good sign.
Oh, look at that. It's kind of hard to see, but there it is. All nice and pretty.
And dry.
Yes, dry. No leaks there. Let's see here.
Get that pulled out of there.
I don't see any drips over there. Nice. Let's see if we get, is this through hull open?
This one is, but this the pump hasn't been run for the air conditioner, so
You should be able to still suck it up.
there it goes. There we go.
Let's just see if we can get this.
Yeah, it's filling up.
Yep. Okay, that hopefully will prime when he gets back to the slip. So I would imagine that we're going to have to go down to the slip when he gets there and help him out.
Just double check everything.
Well, yeah, and remember the generator doesn't run. Right? It's still broke. Okay, so we'll have to ask him about the generator, but I would imagine he's going to say let's wait till a later date on that. Everything looks excellent down there. The main raw water strainers for the engines are all full and primed. The dripless couplings are dry, which is awesome, and we primed the air conditioner, so hopefully that'll pick up when we get downtown. I have a feeling we're going to have to go down and help him set up. We're happy to go down there and help him if he needs help.
Make sure the bow is clear.
Yep, and swing it.
And we can swing it over.
Do you want us to get the lines now, or?
Yeah, we'll go ahead and get the lines now. Here.
Didn't know this was going to stay in the water overnight, or maybe all day today. I want you guys to go inside, open up every bilge, and check for water ingress. Make sure all the bilges are empty. If we find any water coming in, I need to know ASAP. Okay. All right. So we got the boat in the water. Everything looks good. The client has now asked us to do some prep work to get it ready to move. So we have to hook shore power up. We have to make sure the battery charger's on, make sure the batteries are charging. We're going to get the air conditioning all up and running, make sure all the units are working. I think there's 3 of them or 4. We're going to check all the bilges for water ingress and leaks, and we are going to get probably 40 gallons, 50 gallons of diesel because the one tank is empty. Caterpillar says that was the problem with the engine not starting. So we're gonna fill that tank up with some diesel and prime that engine, and we're gonna try to get both engines started, and they'll be working on that today.
Well, we went to start the engines down here, and they started up. They ran for a few minutes and shut off. Found out on the port side, the port tank had no fuel in it, so we put fuel in it, started it up. Same problem, runs 3 or 4 minutes and quits. Check all the lines, they're empty of fuel. Took everything off the Raycor, straight to the engine, and I could get it to run straight out of the tank. So I had to jerry can about 50 gallons of fuel into the tank, so that's okay. I know I have quarter tank of fuel now. So I go straight to the tank, hook up to the engine, and the engine will run. So we have a problem from the tank to the distribution panel upstairs, which you choose port tank for port engine, starboard tank for port engine, port tank for starboard engine, starboard tank for starboard engine. We can't get to the backside of that to check all those connections. So what I've done is I've jerry canned the fuel into the tank. Now I'm going to work on the Raycors to see if this is the problem. From there, I'll go to the distribution panel if this doesn't fix it. But we're going to take the Raycors apart, which we didn't want to do because of the condition of them. They're extremely corroded, so
Rusty, nasty.
this could be where it's sucking some air. Not 100% sure, but we will find out.
Oh, yeah, just look at this. Look, especially that one.
You can see I'm very, very apprehensive of this. I'm not sure this is going to come out so well for us. This hasn't been anything done to it for quite a while. Well, here's a moment of truth. Let's see what happens with this top. Okay. Came off easy enough, but this could be some of the problem where we're sucking air.
Yeah, isn't it? It's missing its gasket.
The gasket's there, but it's really, really compressed hard, and
I think it's missing.
we need to just clean this up really well. It could be pulling air in through here. So we just got to clean this up and see what happens. And I can tell you the Raycor, there is a problem because it is not full of fuel like it should be.
Is that oil?
I'm not going to say this is the problem. No, that's just dirty. Because this port tank was empty when I got here. Had no fuel at all. So if it is sucked through the engine filter like this, then, I mean, this definitely isn't helping. I'm not going to say it's 100% of the problem, but we'll start here.
Good chunk of it.
We will start here. This could be a spot where there's some air coming in, but we'll get these cleaned up, get new seals, new filters in there, and see what happens. So this one, that's quite dirty. I mean, even compared to this one, neither one of them are any good, to be honest. So we're gonna get 4 new ones because there's 2 over here also.
Oh, that one.
We're gonna have to do those 2.
That one looks a little scary back there.
We'll go get 4 new filters and see if they have a cap. If they have one, we'll get one. These aren't bad.
Yeah.
These are okay. That one, I'm afraid, is done.
That one's toast. So we got new filters for the Raycors, and usually with the filters they come with brand new O-rings, which is nice. These ones are extremely like compressed down and haven't been changed in years. You can see as these ones kind of fit flush with the lip here, give it a little more protection. So we cleaned the lids and the screws the best we can. We got new gaskets for the lids and the actual like gasket for the screw itself. So we're gonna see if this fixes our fuel problem. What do you think, man?
With everything the way it's gone so far, everything is possible. Most people would say anything. In this case, everything is possible.
So right now Mel is pre-filling the filters, making sure they have enough fuel in them. The filters changed and the caps changed. We primed the motors with the fuel bulb there, and it did seem to get a lot tougher and more resistance when we were priming it. So right now we're just gonna start them up and then see if it runs longer than 2 minutes. Now, you ready? The battery's dead? You need to turn on to make sure that the boat is working. Start. A little bit of a hiccup. Starboard motor will start. Port motor sounds like it has a dead battery.
I don't know.
Maybe just a loose terminal or something.
No, it's not that simple.
Does that fuse look good?
That's for the bilge pump.
Alright, so we finally got it running. I think all Mel did was just take off the terminals off the battery, give the battery terminals a little scrub with a wire brush and put them back on. It seemed to do the trick. So right now we're just testing. Anytime we revved it up, it only lasts for about 2 minutes before it died out. So we're just revving it up so it can suck a little more fuel a lot quicker and see how long it lasts. Any leaks?
No leaks. No, I'm not upset. Frustrated because I can't figure out what in the world.
I think we're just doing it too fast. I mean, that's the thing with diesels. You can't open throttle it like that so quick.
Well, the Raycor is still bubbling, sucking air, and I don't think that's normal. So we'll try the other side now.
See what happens.
See if it's any better, but I doubt it. I'm just going to switch to the right and then try both. Well, it's a machine, so you got to be able to figure it out.
All right, so the port side engine still keeps dying after a little bit, and we've been using the port side tank with the port side engine. So I wanted to try just switching the tanks real quick to the starboard engine on the port side, starboard tank on the port side engine to see if that would make a difference. If not, we're gonna have to dive further into these Raycors back there and try to figure out if they're drawing air from somewhere, if the Raycor assemblies themselves need to be replaced so it can stop drawing air, or if it's just an easy fix like a gasket. But we're gonna try it. Let's find out. So we ran it. We still came to the same issue where after like 2 minutes, it would just start to bog down and die. So my idea didn't work of switching the tanks. I think the next step of what we're gonna do is switch the starboard side Raycors for better and newer filters and that one with the new cap. And then we're gonna try to run the starboard motor and see how long that one runs for and see if we're coming up with the same issue that we are with this one, which I hope not. I hope it's just a one engine issue, because if it's both, it's gonna be quite annoying. We will figure it out like we always do. So Mel and I have been trying to pull gas straight from the starboard tank through this fuel line. While we were doing it, we heard from what both of us thought it was is air, but we thought it was the pump, so we kept going. And then it started to get louder, so Mel's back there now. I was pumping up the pump, and he found there's a gash. What kind? Like a pinhole leak, or?
Now, if you look here, you can see there's a clamp to hold the hose back here against the bulkhead. It's sitting here like this. So you take the clamp away, and here's what you're left with. And that is just enough to suck air. So pump that pump a little bit, AJ, and we'll see if we can hear it. Yeah, there it is, right there. All right. Now we got to figure out how we're going to repair it.
That's going to be the fun part. Hopefully this is the root of our problems, which would make a lot of sense of it being the root of our problems.
Because it goes to a distribution panel up top where you can decide which engine gets fed from which tank. Right now is feeding from the starboard tank. So that's a very long run to get back here. That's why I think we heard the air sucking more now than we did when we were feeding from the
Port tank.
But we got to fix this first. All right.
So we kind of came up with an idea for a temporary solution, which is just cut out the bad
Solution.
Yeah, cut out the bad where the hole is, and then we got a barb, and we're just gonna reconnect the two hoses with that barb and hose clamps just to get it running and see if it's gonna run. But the hole does sound pretty big. You know exactly where it is?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see it. Want to put the hose clamps on first?
This side doesn't matter.
Yeah, look at that. That would definitely do it. That would definitely cause it not to run. Although, funny enough, if you look on the inside, I don't know how well you guys are going to be able to see it, but it's literally just a pinhole.
Yep.
So with the fuel line somewhat repaired, Mel and I, we hooked it up to the little pump that he has and pumped it into this, to the jerry can, and very good flow came out.
Oh yeah. And we had good gravity feed to the hose also.
Started to gravity feed, so we hooked it back up to the motor, primed it with this bulb. That got all nice and firm, so we know fuel's getting to the motor. And now all we have left to do is just start it up and see if it runs for longer than 2 minutes. Mel, you ready? So what I just did is I revved it up a little bit so more gas can get through the system. It can suck up more quicker. So far, so good. She's staying alive.
Prop turning? Shouldn't be.
Well, it should be slightly.
We got to start it up. No leaks for the hose that we repaired. Running quite well. Going to give it a little bit of throttle here and see what happens. All right. Down here in the engine room, see what's going on. I'm going to say this is okay. So we got the starboard up and running. Now we got to work on, or the port up and running. We got to work on the starboard side now.
Getting all the tops and filters changed out. We decided to actually replace one of the cabs. This one, as you can see, it started to already like eat its way through the wall here where the O-ring sits. We decided that out of all four, this one definitely needed to get changed out and replaced. So we got a new one. We're putting it on. All new O-rings for the cap itself and the T-screw that you use to screw it down. The only thing that's not new is the actual rake horse themselves. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but we all good, all reconnected. All right, so we got the starboard all primed up, ready to go. Now here's the moment of truth. Now you ready? Please God, hope this works. We don't have power.
What?
It wasn't me that shut it off.
Oh, you didn't turn it off?
No. So just a few more hiccups and we're almost there. All right, so I think we just didn't have the fuel primed enough because we've primed it a little bit more and now she's running. Doesn't want to quit, doesn't want to cut out or bog down, which is nice. So we're just gonna let it idle for a little bit longer, maybe rev it up a little more. Mel's right now because there's a water leak that we found, but we couldn't really pinpoint without the motor running. So Mel's down there right now with the motor running to check where this leak is coming from to see if it's something that we could fix. But he couldn't really do that in the motor's condition if it wasn't running because he's looking for a water leak right now. So just revved up the starboard a little bit just to get the fuel running through the system. It seems to be fine, still running. So what we're gonna do now,
Let me make sure it's clear.
is that we're gonna fire off both of them at the same time and just see how she runs. Let it idle for 10-15 minutes and see what happens. But so far so good. It's looking pretty good. So there's port. Both engines are running. Both engines are on. Finally on its own power.
Check doesn't work.
Yeah, this one does.
Uh-huh.
You fixed it, Mel.
Did what we can do.
Glad to be seeing that one go. It'll be back. I don't know if he's going to have a bunch of work done on the engines. The generator doesn't run and the engines need some attention. All right, good to go. We appreciate you watching. We appreciate the support. We love the comments. We try to stay up with those. So we have this goal we're working on. We're hoping to make 50,000 subs by turn 56 June 5th. Help us reach that goal. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing, sharing, liking, turn on the notifications, and keep on watching.